am giving you steps to understand your spiritual awakening journey and bring awareness of what you might experience during that process. These steps make it easier to know what to expect. Every time I've shared them with others, it has helped their awakening process not feel so overwhelming or confusing. In this video, I will be going through the 5 steps, and for each step, I will help you understand what you might be experiencing and why. The first step is self-reflection or confusion. In this step, you're beginning to feel like something is off, there's something weird going on, maybe there's something missing, you feel different. You're not sure what's happening, but you feel like you need answers or clarity. This step may include feelings of sadness, unhappiness, depression. At this point, you still don't know why you're feeling what you're feeling. And that's where the confusion comes in, because these are the moments where you're just feeling different, but you don't understand why. And so you may start questioning and reflecting on what might be happening. This questioning piece really starts sort of activating you to start wondering and trying to figure out what's going on. There is definitely something within you, though, that is beginning to want to find out what's happening. You're beginning to question your beliefs, your values, the purpose of life. And because things feel off, you begin to maybe start opening up to new ideas or challenge your current ways of thinking and exploring what might be on the other side of this, right? Which brings us to step 2, which is the beginning of change. In this step, you continue to challenge your beliefs. You feel much more tapped into the understanding of the idea of consciousness, the idea of universal knowledge, like something bigger than you. And as you continue reflecting and questioning, like, what is going on with me? What is this? Why do I feel this way? Am I going crazy? You begin to explore more and you want more information. You might find yourself, wanting to learn about spiritual practices, being drawn to explore new things in that space, like meditation, intuitive guidance, mindfulness, yoga, things like that. It is important that during this step, you accept the things that you're drawn to and you're open to exploring them. So if things start calling you, things that maybe you were never interested in at all, don't be resistant to that calling or being drawn to them, right? Explore them. You're being drawn to them for a reason. And it's important that you follow your soul and follow your inner guidance, because it'll always guide you in the right direction and give you exactly what you need. Step 3 is a bit similar, and it's really about seeking support and mentorship. And because this journey can be so confusing and not clear and hard to understand, especially if we're just starting or we are, trying to sort of plow through without knowing exactly what's happening and how to get through it, it's important to have some guidance. And so sometimes this step is taken early on. Other times people seek help a little bit later on in their process. There are no right answers here, but you may feel called at this point to connect with someone or a group or a community in order to feel supported in the process. To feel like you have people around you who understand what you're going through and who know what's happening and who've been through it themselves, and who can really kind of, take you by the hand and guide you, and just be a partner and a support system. And this is really important because this journey can feel very, very lonely at times. And if you are already, pretty kind of deep into it, you understand what I'm talking about. There are points on this journey where you really just feel isolated. And it really is sort of part of the journey, and it's set up to be that way because this is really about us going inward. But this brings me to the next step, right? And so step 4, I'm calling negative experiences, or, this is a term that I'm sure all of you have heard, or maybe not, but the dark night of the soul, or a personal crisis, right? And this step is definitely one of the most challenging, and this can really feel extremely isolating, because suddenly it can feel like your entire life is just kind of crashing down on you. And in this step, there's commonly a crisis, right, or a trauma or personal experience that triggers a deeper understanding of who you are and pushes this transformation, pushes this growth, pushes you in the direction of this continued. It's 555 on the clock. This is why I'm smiling, because that's just my way of the universe letting me know that we're all aligned having this conversation. But yeah, so you might experience crisis, trauma, personal experiences that might really trigger and push us forward. Everyone goes through this in a very different way. Some of us experience new traumas, current traumas while we're going through the awakening process, and then suddenly that trauma really kind of unlocks this need for us to experience and dig in a little bit more, and get to know ourselves on a deeper level, right? Some of us can have trauma that surfaces from the past. That is my experience. But some of us can also, it could be a sudden loss of a job, or the sudden loss of a loved one, or, a friend, or someone that, you have worked with for years, suddenly moves. It can be anything, loss of like a big amount of money somehow, or an accident, or things like that. And some of us can also experience more than one of these crises or negative experiences throughout our life, right? So this step or phase is really, really important in the awakening journey, because awakening is all about becoming aware of our light within. And in order to become aware of our light within, we must also accept the shadows within. And so, struggling and having crises moments or negative experiences or traumas that affect us and sit within our system, that is our shadow within. Those are the spaces of darkness that we have and that we carry with us, that really cause us to kind of snap out of it a bit, right? It gives us a different perspective, and then we can really dig in deeper. And that's a huge piece of the awakening process, because once you're already on the journey, this process of the triggering of traumas or negative experiences, the dark night of the soul, because you're on this journey of understanding and awakening, you get to explore those occurrences on a much deeper level, which then takes you to really a bigger transformation, bigger awakening, bigger awareness of self. And then after this is step 5, which is, healing and integration. And this step is crucial for the awakening journey, because it pushes us to process, feel, and do the real work for our personal growth. Because that really is where the work is, right? And this may include therapy, physical activities, trauma releasing modalities, right? There's things like Reiki, a lot of energy work, other things, meditation, intuitive guidance, things like that. And it's important to find anything that is a healthy way to connect with your trauma, process it, and release it, so that you are able to establish well-being and continue on this journey. And that is the integration piece, right? We don't just dig into our shadow, become aware of it, go through that pain, and then kind of really we release it, yes, but we don't just sit it down. We've got to really integrate it and make it part of who we are on a conscious level. So those are the 5 steps that I wanted to share with you in this video. Now, this is not a comprehensive list, and I want all of you to remember that there are no 2 identical awakening journeys, and that this process is not linear at all. These steps typically do not happen in order, although maybe they may. You may end up repeating some or all of them over and over again as you move through the journey. I know I have. Every time I think that I'm done learning a lesson or exploring a piece of my trauma and that I've healed it, it pops up again during a different time in my life, as I'm growing and developing and continuing to learn. Those, I'll have some other trigger that'll help me understand that there's some more learning, there's some more digging in there, there's some more healing. So this is not a linear process at all. These are 5 sort of overarching steps that I wanted to share with all of you who are starting this journey and who wanted a little bit more clarity. Keep an open mind and heart during this process. Give yourself grace, knowing that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. There's no winning here. This is not a race. It is a beautiful and challenging experience of self-exploration. And like anything amazing in life, right, there's always a duality, right? Things are hard, things are amazing, things are, easy, and then they're difficult. So it's just part of our experience here as human beings, and this is part of this beautiful self-exploration journey. If you're needing support on your journey, please email me. My info is in the description box below. I'm happy to help you along. And if you're a bit scared of diving into your shadow self and exploring your dark side, and that sounds a bit terrifying, it's okay. We have all been there. We understand. I understand. But watch this video that I've put up here, which will help you understand a little bit of the benefits of doing so. Okay, hope this helps, and see you soon. Prosperity and bright light.